Chapter 4: The Spiritual Blueprint of Abundance. Prosperity is not luck, it is law. When faith and gratitude unite, miracles become daily events. After the stormy season of 2017, when pain, guilt, and loss left me questioning my own path, life began to reveal its gentler rhythm. The year 2019 arrived like spring after a long winter, carrying within it the warmth of renewal. My two sons got married that year, one in June at the beautiful country club in San Jose, and the other in September in a chapel in Las Vegas. Those moments of celebration were not just about weddings, they were signs of life restoring balance. They reminded me that every seed planted in faith eventually blooms, though not always in the season we expect. But this chapter is not about the weddings themselves. It is about abundance, what it truly means to live prosperously, to find harmony between wealth, happiness, and success. The law behind prosperity. I have learned through many trials that prosperity is not luck, it is law. Just as gravity pulls everything toward the earth, there is a spiritual law that draws abundance toward those whose inner world vibrates with gratitude, faith, and clarity. When my thoughts were filled with fear and guilt, life seemed to close its doors. When I began to think with faith and gratitude, the same world opened wide as if heaven itself conspired to help me. We often mistake abundance for material wealth, but abundance is much larger than money. It is a state of alignment between the inner and outer world. When my heart is at peace, when I act with integrity and purpose, when I give without fear of losing, I am living in abundance, even before I see any financial results. The outer prosperity comes later as the echo of my inner truth. There was a time when I believed success came only through struggle. I was raised in a culture that values sacrifice, where working harder meant being more worthy. But life has shown me that the universe does not reward struggle. It responds to energy. Struggle without faith is only motion without meaning, but effort grounded in peace and gratitude becomes power. The mind that works in harmony with divine law no longer fights the current, it flows with it. The inner blueprint. Every person carries within them a spiritual blueprint, a pattern of thoughts, emotions, and beliefs that silently design the architecture of their life. What we experience outwardly is the manifestation of that inner design. When I live in fear, I build walls. When I live in guilt, I attracted situations that reflected punishment. But when I choose faith, I began to build bridges. The ship was invisible, yet its results were undeniable. In 2019, when the family was filled with joy and laughter. I saw how blueprint had changed. Those years of inner work, learning to forgive myself, to trust the flow of life, had opened the door to the very abundance I once chased. Many people pray for abundance but think in scarcity. They ask for blessings but dwell in fear. They speak of love yet harbor resentment. The blueprint cannot lie. The universe mirrors not what we say but what we are. So, if I wish to live richly, I must think richly, not in arrogance or greed, but in gratitude and confidence in divine order. Abundance is not created by the hands, it is created by the mind and heart first. The harmony of wealth, happiness, and success. For many years, I tried to separate these three things, wealth, happiness, and success, as they were different mountains to climb. But I have come to realize that they are one mountain seen from different sides. When I chased wealth without happiness, I felt hollow. When I sought happiness without purpose, I felt lost. When I pursued success without peace, I felt exhausted. Only when I found balance did life start to make sense. Wealth is the expression of giving and receiving energy freely. Happiness is the peace that arises from gratitude and contentment. Success is visible result of inner alignment with purpose. When all three harmonize, abundance becomes effortless. I have seen people with a lot of money yet live in fear. They hoard well but starve of joy. I have seen others with modest means who radiate peace because they understand that wealth is not measured by possession but by appreciation. To be truly rich is to know that you already have enough and that from that sense of enoughness, even more will come. Faith and gratitude, the twin pillars. Faith without gratitude is blind hope. Gratitude without faith is passive comfort. Together, they form a twin pillars of prosperity. Faith connects me to the unseen. It is the knowing that even when I cannot see the full path, something greater is guiding me. Gratitude, on the other hand, anchors me to the present. It reminds me that what I have is already part of the miracle. When I live between these two, believing in what is coming and appreciating what already is, I am alive with the divine flow. In 2019, I experienced this truly deeply. After the trials of 2017, I was afraid to believe in joy again. But when the weddings came, I felt gratitude washing away the residue of sorrow. Each laughter, each hug, each smile of my children felt like a reminder that faith had not failed me. Abundance had been waiting patiently for my heart to open again, breaking the poverty of thought. True poverty is not in the wallet but in the mind. I once lived with poverty of thought, a constant belief that I was not enough. The blessings belong to others. That inner limitation kept me small even when life offered me more. When I moved away in 2017, guilt haunted me. I felt I had failed as a mother by not being near my sons during They are hardest times, but guilt is not heavy chain that binds the soul. The moment I release it, I begin to see the lesson. Love does not require proximity. It requires presence of heart. That understanding broke the mental poverty I had carried for years. The belief that I had to earn love through sacrifice. As I changed my thought, I noticed how life responded. New opportunities appear, new friendships blossom, and peace return. That is proof of spiritual. When the mind rises, life follows. Prosperity begins not when we gain more, but when we think better. The energy of giving. Another law I learned is that abundance flows through circulation. Stagnant water becomes polluted, so does stagnant wealth. The more I give, whether in kindness, service, or resources, the more life gives back. But giving must come from joy, not obligation. True generosity is not measured by the amount, but by the energy behind it. During the weddings, I gave not just gifts but blessings. I gave prayers, love, and heartfelt wishes. I watched how joy multiplied in return. Each act of genuine giving expands the channel through which abundance flows. It is never about depletion, it's about creation. When the heart gives by love, it affirms to the universe, I have enough to share. That affirmation alone opens the door to more. The hidden mathematics of abundance. Prosperity operates under divine mathematics. The more grateful I am, the more reasons life gives me to be grateful. The more joy I express, the more joy I find. This is not superstition, it's the law of resonance. The energy I emit is the invitation I send to the universe. If my thoughts are filled with fear, I attract limitation. If they are filled with faith, I attract opportunity. The universe is impartial. It mirrors the pattern I hold within. That is why inner work is not a luxury. It is a necessity. Every meditation, every prayer, every act of forgiveness rewrites the code of my spiritual blueprint. Many think that achieving abundance requires external effort, better strategies, smarter investments, or perfect timing. But the real work happens inside. A mind in alignment will find its own way to manifest outward wealth. Life bends to the consciousness that commands it. The art of inner alignment. To live abundantly is not to chase more but to become more. It is to bring my thoughts, emotions, and actions into harmony with truth. When I think love, feel peace, and act with integrity, I am in alignment. From that place, everything flows naturally. In the past, I used to worry about the future, about financial stability, about my children, about my own worth. Those worries drained the very energy I needed to create abundance. Now, I see that worry is faith in wrong direction. It is faith that something bad will happen. To reverse it, I begin to practice trust. Every morning I would say silently, I am supported by divine law. I am guided by love. I am already blessed. The more I repeat it, the more my outer world began to reflect it. It was not magic, it was alignment. My thoughts, emotions, expectations began to match the frequency of abundance. Abundance as spiritual state. Many people chase abundance as if it were something to possess. But abundance is first a spiritual state. When I am in that state, everything I do carries the vibration of fulfillment. Whether I am writing, teaching, or simply watching the sunset, I feel connected to something greater. That connection is abundance itself. Abundance is harmony, the inner knowing that life is whole, that I am part of the wholeness. From that awareness, even the smallest blessing feels vast. A cup of tea in the morning can feel as precious as a feast when I'm grateful. A walk under the sun feels like luxury when my heart is peaceful. The more I honor these small joys, the more the universe expands them. That is the sacred paradox of prosperity. The more I notice the riches already present, the richer I become. Healing through prosperity. Sometimes abundance enters not to reward us, but to heal us. In 2019, when the family was filled with laughter and light, I felt a quiet healing taking place inside me. Those joyful moments were more than celebrations. They were answers to own prayers. They reminded me that love continues, that life renews itself even after pain. Every blessing has its purpose. Prosperity is not merely to comfort us, but to expand us, to remind us that the universe is abundant by nature, and so are we. When I accept that truth, I no longer feel lost. I know that life replenishes what it takes away. The responsibility of prosperity, living abundantly, also carries responsibility. Abundance without awareness becomes greed. Wealth without wisdom becomes a burden. True prosperity is measured by how we use it to uplift, to create, to heal. When I receive, I ask myself, how can this blessing serve love? That question keeps me grounded. Abundance is not meant to isolate us, but to connect us. The more prosperous I become, the more I realize that wealth is not ownership, it is stewardship. I am merely a channel for divine flow. My duty is to let it move through me, not stop with me. The circle of life. When I look back now, I see how the circle completed itself. 2017 was the year of pain and inner cleansing, was the year of rebuilding faith. 2019 was the harvest, the reason when love returned in the form of family joy. The cycle is the rhythm of life itself, planting, growing, and harvesting. Every season serves a purpose. Without 2017, I would not have learned surrender. Without surrender, I could not have received 2019's blessings. The law of life is cyclical. everything we lose eventually returns in the higher form. And through it all, I have learned that the outer circumstances are secondary. The real abundance was always with me, the peace that cannot be stolen, the love multiplies when shared, the wisdom that grows through pain. My inner world writes the desire. When I look around today, I no longer see randomness. I see desire. My relationships, my work, my peace, all are reflections of my inner world. That is the spiritual blueprint at work. Every thought is an architect, every belief a builder. When my thoughts honor life, life honors me back. When my faith is steady, doors open without effort. And when gratitude fills my heart, I walk through those doors with grace. Abundance, I have come to see, is not the reward of luck, it is the natural outcome of harmony. When faith and gratitude unite, miracles are no longer occasional, they are daily events. And so, I live by this truth now. My inner world writes the desire that my outer world builds. When I think richly, live gratefully, and act faithfully, abundance is inevitable. That is the spiritual blueprint of prosperity. It is not a secret, it's a law, eternal and kind, waiting for each of us to bring it into being. Thank you so much for listening. Please tune in for chapter 5.